So, another day in the circus of politics. The House of Representatives just recently voted in favor for having Donald Trump impeached. And, well, they're hoping that Trump can get removed. At least that's what they are reporting. For all we know, this is just one big show, one giant distraction. The Senate now has to have an impeachment trial, but the Senate is dominated by Republicans, and the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has already said that Donald Trump will be acquitted. In other words, this removal isn't going to happen. For one thing, even though the majority of the House voted for impeachment, you need 67 votes to have the president removed. You're not going to get 67 votes in favor of removing the president. It's just not going to happen. And there's already delaying going on. Currently, Nancy Pelosi is refusing to give the articles of impeachment to Mitch McConnell, and she is saying, well, because Mitch McConnell is partisan. And they want to make sure, supposedly, that there will be a bipartisan process in the Senate. And then you have the fact that you're going to have impeachment managers overseeing this trial. Those managers have to be appointed. This is all going to take a lot of time. And then you have to add in all of the squabbling and all of the remonstrances that will be expressed by both sides. And this is all going to delay things. The question is, will they be able to get a removal before the 2020 election? No, it's not going to happen. What is this going to do? It is going to boost the base for Donald Trump. Because you have a lot of people in the United States who believe that Donald Trump is a persecuted man who isn't bought out, who is outside of the establishment, he is against the elites, and all of that rhetoric. This has confirmed their beliefs. This has confirmed their belief that Donald Trump is being persecuted, that he is being oppressed. And so they are going to vote for him with even more enthusiasm, because to them it is a big middle finger against the Democrats to vote for their guy. This is the bottom line. It's really helping Donald Trump. This isn't really hurting him. It's kind of like what happened in the time of Reagan, in the Reagan administration. Carter was dealing with negotiations with the Iranians, and it actually worked in favor for Reagan because you had all these Americans that were hostages in the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, and Carter was looking weak because the Iranians were playing games with the Carter administration. Meanwhile, people were looking up to Reagan as this strong leader. And of course, you have the whole October surprise conspiracy, which is actually true. I mean, they say it's just a conspiracy theory, but if you actually look into it, it really did happen. Reagan and his ilk, Reagan and his team were playing a game, and they were actually making behind-the-curtains deals with the Iranians, basically saying, hold the hostages until the moment of Reagan's victory, and this is going to make Reagan look like he is strong and he has just dominated the weak ways of Jimmy Carter. These types of situations will help certain candidates. These types of situations do help a politician, especially when the situation is an attack against that particular politician, and that politician's constituents, that politician's fans see him as a potential victim of the establishment that they are, or that they want to fight against. The House has charged Trump with abuse of power and the obstruction of Congress. Be that as it may, it doesn't really matter, because to the people who revere Donald Trump, he has done nothing wrong. This is the reality that people need to come to deal with. This needs to be registered in people's brains. The fans of Trump do not care about any sort of charges against him. I mean, they see the charges as fake. They see the charges as propaganda to boost up the Democrats, but they don't see them as true. What matters is perception. What matters is perception. I'm not one of these guys who says, perception is truth and truth is relative. But when it comes to power, politics, and elections, the main factor when it comes to victory is what is the perception of the masses. If they see you as a victim of the establishment, they are going to fight for you. It's like Brexit. All these British people thought, if we vote for Brexit, then we can just, it's a big flip off to the elites, to the establishment. All those shadowy bureaucrats over there in Brussels. But the reality is that you had all of these billionaires backing Boris Johnson, and he has his own support from the elites. It's all very interesting how people ignore this reality. But anyway, yeah, that's my thought on this. I think there's going to be a lot of delaying. There's going to be a lot of bickering back and forth. There's going to be a lot of news coverage on this, obviously. But it's only going to boost Trump's support. It's going to invigorate his base. Anyway, you guys just heard some theology. God bless.